Uh, yep. Welcome to those visiting. So we will jump right into item one, a discussion on the Woodland Hills Trail feasibility study. Sherry, are you here for that? I know Jeremy is the one
No, it's
that.
me.
Oh, that's you. That's right. I talked to Jeremy about that. Okay. Janet.
So I don't, if you guys remember last year, we looked into getting a grant from MAG to do a trail up Woodland Hills Drive in the easement area that the city owns on the side of the road. There was a lot of discussion and we did apply. We didn't get the grant. But Mayor and Jeremy have been talking about applying for a study to get a grant to do a study for it. So we would get $100,000 from MAG if we get it. Well, that would be the total amount. MAG would give us 93,230. Anyway, we would have to match $6,770. But in that, we could, part of the study would be for drainage. Do we want it to be asphalted or do we want it to be natural? And so that's what the application is for. And Jeremy thought that we had a really good shot at getting this one.
Because we didn't get it last year, right? Is that kind of what?
He's had some discussion with them and they said we actually had a really good shot at getting this one. So, and like I say, this isn't to do the trail. This is just to do the study to make sure that it's even feasible. And then to have a plan. So we'd have to do an RFP and the whole bit for it. But we just needed to discuss it and make sure you guys are aware. And the match required is within the mayor's allowance, so to speak, right? So, but where do we find the matching funds for that part?
Right.
Well, which fiscal year are we talking?
That's a good question.
Well, in the application, Jeremy said that it's not putting us on the hook for anything.
No.
Right? So it's not like we applied for the grant or anything like that.
It's a letter of intent was all we've done so far. So if there's not support to do the study, we can withdraw it still. But he didn't want to miss the deadline. So he had the mayor sign the letter and it was sent off to them. But we just needed to talk about it a little bit and see.
Well, the study must be really something to cost that. I'm just trying to figure out, let's see, $50K to build the whole trail, $100K to do the study, but I must be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's a fairly comprehensive study.
I know that you have to acquire some properties probably, and that'll be the challenge.
Well, and I would imagine, well, I'm not trying.
No, go. You talked to him about it just as much as I did.
Well, and I just know that as far as the way MAG operates, yeah, acquisition is a huge part of it, and it's
Good.
part of the plan.
Okay.
Well, I'm talking generally, which is transportation.
Oh,
generally.
okay.
But the state and Governor Cox, I mean, there's a high level of commitment to trails, and so I think that's part of the reason that Jeremy was saying that we've got a pretty good likelihood of getting it too. It's just that there's a high level of enthusiasm. But I think that it's probably geared more toward tying it into a larger trail network, which might account for some of the.
And that's where the support and the funding comes from the state, is because they want the communities to connect with their trails. And so that's why
Right.
MAG is in support of it.
Would any of this 100K potentially be for easement acquisition? Or is this purely 100%
That'd
study?
be nice.
This is a study. This is not actually doing anything. Well, it says primary mode is study for the new trail.
Keep in mind, this study is essentially will come out of it with an actual plan. So,
Engineering and everything.
I mean, so it really is kind of the gateway to doing something.
It probably would help a lot, right? For the sake of being able to get future funds if this plan is already in place as well, correct?
Yes. And, drainage is a big focus that we have right now, and it's a big problem. So that's why, he wanted to do that. Sherry?
Sherry, if you don't mind, thank you.
If memory serves me correctly, I think when I spoke to Mag about this, whenever we'd applied for the original grant, the reason that it was not approved was because of all the easements that the city would have to acquire property for to make this happen. And also, Summit Creek was not in favor of the trail going down Summit Creek Drive. That's what I remember.
Thanks. And I think also to your point, Ben, I mean, if we ever want money for trails going forward, if we didn't have a plan, I think that it would be
Yeah.
much less likely to be able to qualify. So, yeah, I mean, that might not get us everything that we need, but at least it lays some groundwork for the possibility in the future for.
Well, and like I say, if we had a fully engineered plan ready to go, and if it is feasible, then it would save us a lot of money being able to go forward.
Great, thanks, Janet. Any other, Carrie, and welcome. You're
Can't
you're
hear
muted.
her.
I'm unmuted on my side.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Yeah, I'm unmuted on my side. I joined, but for some reason, everyone who's online can't be up at the same time, it looks like. So, anyways, my question is, so this is for just the study, the plan, including the engineering of possible plans, or just the design phase of the plan?
It's just a study.
Okay,
Oh.
so just the study, not the design, not any of those, just what's the feasibility of actually having a trail system through our city? One of the concerns that I have is yes, the easements, making sure that it is in, that they are in places where citizens want them. I know in the past, Sherry was talking about the easements, there have been suggestions in the past of where trails may be, and I know some residents who bought their home thinking that there wasn't a trail through their backyard, aren't interested in that. So I would assume that we would have some sort of public hearing in this study to make sure that that those who are so those who are
Carrie?
so there's some just a minute, so that we can make sure that we're not infringing on anyone's right for public, their private property rights, feeling that they're violated. I know that's been a thing in the past, and I just am bringing it forward. I know this seems to be just for maybe Woodland Hills Drive and Summit Creek Drive. My second point is, right now we don't connect and probably can't connect into the Summit Creek trail system because it's with their HOA. If we wanted to connect into Salem or eventually to the Spanish Fork Trail system, which is the governor's plan, it seems to me that after looking at some of the preliminary plans for the new development over the old Davis Ranch, that their trail system will also be private HOA trails. So we just might want to consider that when we're looking at our study.
Yeah, this trail is strictly transportation trails. It is not backyards or anything like that. And again, I just would like all of us on the council to make sure that we differentiate between hiking trails and transportation trails. They are completely different things.
That's a great point.
Can you explain those
And that's kind of what I was meaning, is that
Yeah,
we
it's-
make sure that the study is focused on the transportation trail,
It is
opportunities.
only a transportation trail study. That is the only thing it entails. So transportation trails are basically what's going on the rest of Woodland Hills Drive, where you have a separate lane for bikes, scooters,
I get it.
segways,
So
whatever.
it's always going to be tied to a roadway in some way.
So it's tied to a roadway, but it's separate from the roadway, so it's kept safe.
Okay. Gets that traffic off the road and into somewhere safer.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So that is a
That is different.
transportation trail.
Should be in the city's right of way, maybe.
That's, yes. Or, I mean,
Do that?
of course, we can go down the rat hole of the fact that, when people built, the lines were all wrong. And so Woodland Hills Drive kind of
Yep.
goes like this. But that's what the study will actually help us figure out. So that's the positive behind it, is that we'll for sure find out what is and what is not possible from a transportation trail standpoint.
When Corbett redid Woodland Hills Drive, it was a mess, sections of it, because of that very problem. He says.
Yep.
that
And
you
it's
can
still
see-
not perfect, and
No,
so that's why there
no,
needs to be a study to
Mm-mm.
figure it out.
Yeah, so the study has value there, big time.
Okay,
All right, thanks, Janet. Anything else?
no,
All right, item 2, Woodland Hills Fraud Risk Assessment. Is Chris there?
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, give me just a second here. I'm going to share screen. Jody, am I able to share? No.
Elder night.
We did spray, just so you know.
I believe you.
That's true. Just
Wow.
roosters.
They, hey,
No behind collar roosters.
I like your style.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I got it up. Every year,
All right.
can you hear me okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So for about the past 4 or 5 years, the state auditor's office has asked all public entities to fill out this fraud risk assessment. It's just kind of a self-assessment on how we're doing. There's any weak areas that we can identify that maybe we could bolster them up. We also do post this on the transparency website so residents and others can look at it. Our score actually went up quite a bit this past year due to a couple things. One, we did some new policies relating to now I've twisted my mind, Jody. We had to sign them in January, February about if our brother's going to work for the city or we won't do
Conflict of
Assets.
interest.
yes, yeah, there you go. Those help bolster our scores. Plus, on the finance committee that was overlooked the year before, we have 2 CPAs on there, and so that bolsters our score quite a bit too. So we are actually in the low risk category now at a score of 335 right here at the top. And it just needs to be brought up into a public meeting. The mayor and myself will sign this, and then we get it uploaded to the transparency website and fulfill that requirement. But you guys are, more than welcome to look at the things that we have put yes on and no on, and
Chris,
we
can you
can improve
explain
it.
number?
Yeah,
Can you
could we
explain
do
number 4?
Why don't we do number 4? And bring our score up some
I thought
more.
we did already.
you know what? Sorry, that's a misname. That's the one I was talking about. We did in January.
'Cause I thought
So
we
that was-
all had to sign one of those.
Yeah.
Yep, and we all had to sign one too. Did everybody sign it, Jody? Well, I can't hear, but if I'll double check with her, I will change that to a yes, and then that'll put us at 340. Excuse me, 355. Let's see.
Do your math, 355.
Yeah, well, let me just show you something here. So, I've got the sun blaring in my, I'm on the road. My wife is driving, so let's see. Yeah, so 355. So we're almost perfect. One of the things we can look at is the fraud hotline. That'll give us another 20. The state has a number. We would just need to get that posted to our website, which is actually fairly easy. I'll get with Jody on that. And matter of fact, Jody, if we're able to update that really quickly, like in the next day or two, we can change that also.
Yeah, wouldn't we just stick that on the city website?
If you can get me the information.
Sweet. That's 40 more points.
Which one are you talking about? 5?
Number.
No, I know number 4,
Seven.
but 5.
7.
Oh, 7. Haven't we all done the training too?
Mm-hmm.
That training. If you guys have done it, hats off to you, but I'm not quite sure you've done this training.
Okay, so this is
If
different.
you want
than
to jump on
like-
that link,
Sorry, go ahead.
I believe so. If you guys want to jump on that, look at it.
Well, not right now, but I thought maybe it was
Ours
I thought it was the league training that we had,
That we did.
yeah, so, or that.
No,
might-
this is something different. And maybe I can go through the modules, Mayor, and tell you how.
Trending on it to Utah dollar is down, but
And Chris, we're not getting everything from you, but point taken. I just thought that maybe if that was some low hanging fruit, we'd grab it, but.
You want a perfect score.
Okay.
He still
It
has
couldn't
his
hurt,
background,
right?
Even in the car.
Oh my goodness. That is
That's
putting
a-
seatbelt
that's a nice-
Good job, Chris.
Seatbelt right on.
You're looking like you've got my haircut though.
Yeah,
That's a-
let me fix that here for you. So
Yeah.
All right, any other questions, for anybody? Okay, I think we're good there, Chris, thank you. You can move on to August 2023 financials and check disbursements if you would.
I looked through them. I didn't have any questions. I didn't see anything that really stood out. Did anyone else look through them or was it just me?
I didn't see anything either.
I thought
I
they looked
didn't
fine.
either.
Okay, then we'll move on to item 4, which, just for your information, we're not going to be voting to approve that for signature. We only recently got it from Craig and Ethan with some of their comments, and I have not had a chance to even go through it except very preliminarily, but
With the Payson thing?
yeah, the Payson city reuse contract. But does anybody have any comments or questions
Is,
based on
is that the sewage contract?
Yeah, they're taking the water and basically
Oh,
repurposing it, selling it.
I don't think we want it back.
Yeah, no, but neither of those
Keep
are
the flow.
good options. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can plan on next, were you
I
saying
have
something?
an interesting comment for you when you get into that. Doesn't have to be tonight,
The reuse contract? Okay, well, if
We
you
wanna
don't
hear
mind,
but it came from Albert's attorneys.
Just get a mic. You
I
always,
didn't take more time.
you always say things.
Please.
When the engineer talks, we want to hear.
So Elk Ridge also got the same contract, and I was talking to them a little bit about it. And I was interested to hear what our attorney said versus kind of their counsel. But one of the points their counsel made is, because basically what you're doing is,
Now, Ted, let me also just caution you, we don't want to talk legal strategy except in a closed session. So is this pertaining to legal strategy? Because if it is, maybe we should talk about it.
yeah, I'm not sure, but it's possible talking benefits for the city for doing this. But anyway, and I don't know whether that's legal strategy or not.
Maybe.
We can
let's
talk
you and
about
I
it
talk
offline, then
about it
decide.
offline, and then we can bring it up next meeting, either open or in a closed session. But
Yeah.
now we know you got something good, so.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
Something helpful.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right. Well, if there's no other comments or questions on that, then we'll move on to item 5, the update on city grants. Carrie, A and B, are you?
No report for me. No
Okay.
report for me. And ARPA, I don't know if I'm still reporting on ARPA, but I know that we've been moving forward. I haven't heard anything from Mark Sylvine on if that three-phase power project is going forward. I haven't gotten a report on that.
I have some update on it. We got a bid from SESD, and I don't know if you got a chance to look at that, Corbett, but so we do have some numbers that we can work with at least.
Is it more than we have? Do it? Do you have
Uh,
enough money to do it? I guess is what my question is.
Well, I don't think that the ARPA was, I don't think we were ever thinking that we'd be able to fund the whole thing with ARPA anyway, right? It's just that we would be using it for some of it.
Okay.
So what would that be? What was the bid? What did it come out? What did it come in at? I should say.
Well, that'll teach me for bringing it up. I think it was about 105,000, including the transformer impact fees, but don't hold me to that, but that is roughly what I recall it being.
Okay, then that's pretty, I mean, close to what we have. So we will need to pay a small amount of difference on that, but it's pretty close.
Okay, yeah,
we
and
will
right
be-
now, all we need is to just pay the amount to commit to it, right? But they did say that they're, like, we were thinking it might be well over a year, but they actually have a transformer in stock, so we could probably move relatively fast with that, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
And as a reminder on that, Chris is our agent of, with the Treasury, because this ARPA money directly came to us from the Treasury. And so only, financial, those who are tasked with the financial dealings of the city can report on it. So I think it was Chris, and maybe Lori was also put on that. So when we do finish it, or as we're in the process of it, make sure that I'm just reminding them that they are the official reporting entity to the Department of Treasury.
Okay, very good, thank you. All right, item C, Ted, Fire? Ed?
I don't have anything. We just applied for that mitigation grant again, which I think we may have talked about last time. It's the Ready, Set, Go, which is how we get the bins. Craig was putting bins around the city and stuff like that. So we applied for that, but haven't heard back on it. Also applied for a license plate grant, they call it. It comes from the proceeds of the license plate sales for fire stuff. So that's just a small portion. It's like you can only request up to 5,000, but so I just submitted that one. It was kind of it came in kind of like a 1 week deal. So I submitted for 4,500 to replace some of our helmets. Our helmets are the newest ones are 2 years outdated or 2 years expired.
For 20 years, I've had the same one.
Some of them go back to having been expired for 16 years, which means they're 26 years old. So
Stay away from walls, you know.
So that's yeah. So that's all on fire grants.
Okay, great, thank you. Any questions for Ted? Okay, Parks, Trails, and Recreation.
So this last Saturday, we had a little crew up on the switchbacks, and we installed the 3 park benches, and
Wow.
Ben got the sign up, and you got the foundation for the bowlers. Did you get those finished?
No, I needed that concrete to just cure a little longer before I hammer drill in and put those bollards in, but that's on my agenda tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. So the other part of the grant money that Sherry got that we haven't done yet is the water bars. We need to do the work on the water bars. And Sherry, if you want to talk, Sherry's concerned about us doing the repair and then it being wet and soggy and people going up there with a 4-wheeler and undoing all of the work that we've done. My suggestion is if we could do it right before it snows, then we would have the cover of snow up there and nobody would go up there on a motorcycle or a 4-wheeler because it wouldn't be safe, hopefully. And that way we wouldn't have to close the trail. Sherry would like to see the trail closed so that the work, for a minute, so that the work could get kind of set up, you know what I mean, as far as 2 motorized vehicles. But without having the bollards in there, that would be hard to do. So I don't know, but the question is, do we just try and do it before it snows? Or do we try to extend the grant a little bit and do it in the spring? That's what we need to figure out.
We're trying to figure this out on an ongoing basis. When is the best time to do this every year? We thought we don't want to do it after the snow melts because that's when people are going to be using the trail. Trying to minimize the amount of time that the trail wouldn't be in full use to not damage the water bars. And I think part of that grant, Carrie, that you got, the EWP, the easement requires maintenance on the trail.
It a little bit. They didn't think it needed to be, that the water bars needed to be maintained every year, only every few years. But if you would like me to contact the DNR and ask them their suggestions on what time of year we should do it, I'm happy to do that.
Well, didn't we do the EWP project? Wasn't it in October? And then they had the winter to set up. It's just, when do we want to plan this? Because I think it's in city code that we have to do maintenance every year on the trail.
Well, we have to do maintenance every year on the trail. It does not necessarily include the water bars according to DNR. They, on their trail systems throughout the state, they do not do the water bars every year. They only do them every few years. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what they told us, but I can look that up or I can call and ask. They're
Well,
supposed
we
to.
haven't
ask the
done it
public.
in 2 years now, and a lot of them are non-existent.
Yeah, we
Thought we
have
did 'em last
excessive trail use
It was
with
the
our,
EWP, it was the year before.
No,
Yeah.
we did them. Jay, it was me and Jamin and Ben and you, and there, we had a crew. We did them last year.
In October?
We did them in October last year. We
Well,
dug
and
them all
that's why-
out.
that's why I'm saying maybe we should call, I mean, we did them originally in October just because that's how the grant money fell and the way we were doing the entire basin and all of the drainage at that point. We did it for that time of year just because of the timetable on the money. But I will contact them and find out when they normally do it. Is it the fall? Is it the spring? And
Well, I can ask Mike Slater, he's on the PTR committee and he works with DNR. The other hiccup this year is the grant funds are good and the projects that we got the grant money for, which includes the water bars, are to be completed in 6 months, which is November. Now, I can ask the Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant people to extend based on altitude, but I haven't done that yet because I wanted to get the council's position on how you feel when we should be doing this.
Right before it snows.
We met with our plow leadership yesterday, and they were saying there could be a potential snow event.
Thursday.
Yeah, so I guess it's tomorrow.
Ah, sweet, I didn't want to go to work.
The tricky thing about right before the snow is.
well, and we have to remember, we may get snow, but it will probably melt. So
Yeah.
until it's right before the ground freezes on a consistent basis. That's when we would do it, because once the ground freezes, it's less likely that the water bars would be damaged.
Yeah, and more likely when it's wet. If you're doing it and then it's really wet and soggy, then they're gonna get rid of it.
And how much time do you have?
And it's a
to-
lot of work.
How much time do they have to be left untouched?
It's just so they can set up. And what we did with the EWP project, it was over the winter because you have pedestrian, snowshoers going up there, but there's no motorized vehicles to wear them down. As they get wet, they harden up good. But I just need to let Utah Outdoor Recreation Grant, should I ask for an extension because of high altitude, or is this something, I mean, it takes a week maybe to get volunteers together.
I think we could still do it. I think we could do it.
Okay.
by the end of the month.
Okay,
And so
Agree.
the bollards are gonna be up then? I mean, so you're just wanting to close it to motorized traffic? Right?
We passed that ordinance.
just to let them set up.
Yeah.
The bollards will be in tomorrow.
But that's just for the width limit.
That's 55, that
Yeah, that's
Ex-
just the 50-inch width.
Mo-
There's some width.
biggest traffic, to be honest, is the motorcycles and the bigger UTVs.
And the bollards with a chain would not keep a motorcycle out, I'm guessing.
No.
If we did, I'm just thinking if we close the trail, I'm just wondering how long, you would need for it to be closed.
Short.
The other thing we need to consider, Sherry, is that it's just the start of the hunting season on rifles, and there will be quite a few people using the trail during that season. And so whether we have snow on it or it's frozen or whatever, they're still going to use the trail and probably ATV to get up to the top of the mountain in the hunting season. Because I think rifle season is opening this week, if I remember right.
I think you're right, Carrie.
When does it close, do you know?
In November, I think. We can look it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just go hiking up the switchbacks and go shooting out from there.
Yeah.
so
That's correct.
Let me just, for public comment, we have speed of the microphone for one thing, but yeah, so but yeah, we don't even own all the way up the switchbacks. So
As soon as they get off of city property, they're not supposed to hunt on city property, but as soon as they cross that line, they get over onto the public land, they can hunt.
I've always been told you have to be a mile outside of city limits to even shoot a gun.
That would be nice. I'm with you.
And Griffin hates it. Hasn't, it's not that far away. Not like Iraq. You're pacing. You know,
Makes sense.
That is the limits to shoot your gun. Anyway, okay. I'm amazed that hunters are going up there. They should not be. I don't think there's any hunting on this side of the mountain.
There's some funny stories about that that aren't funny, but
I bet.
We actually just had an incident.
All right, well, so anyway, I don't know if we've got the answer that
Right.
you're looking for. I mean,
I personally just think we should do it before it snows. Ben, what say you?
I think so. Once the bollards are in, that'll also drastically decrease the larger vehicles.
So we
Um,
wait a couple weeks.
yeah.
I have trunk or treat. But yeah,
Yeah, I'd say something like that. Let's look at the weather. Let's figure that out because we'll want to dig it out and make sure that there is, you know, almost like a rain after and then sun so that it can kind of soak in and then harden. And then if we can get into the freezing time, that'd be the best. But we'll figure it out. We can coordinate the three of us.
okay. We good on that?
yeah.
Okay. Water line replacement grant, Ted?
Haven't heard anything. That was the one we submitted to the governor's office. I haven't heard anything. We submitted that grant to the governor's office of economic opportunity for the grant money they had available this year, but they haven't reported back on results yet, so don't know anything.
Okay, thank you. Municipal subdivision ordinance technical assistance grant. Carrie, is this yours?
You want me to give you an update on that?
Okay, yeah, please.
Yeah.
So this was grant money that was offered by the Workforce Services, Division of Workforce Services, who will fund for planners and or attorneys to go to municipalities and help them update their ordinances based on last year's legislative session. So they have now, the Division of Workforce Services put out RFPs to select approved attorneys or planners that can access that grant money to help these cities. They just announced the list yesterday or the end of last week. She's always yelling at me. And there are 5 people on the list. The planner we use, RCC, did get approved. So they're one of them on the list. So they can actually get access to grant money for the city to update their ordinances.
Great. No, I remember there was some discussion, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out of that discussion.
Oh, no, I'm cut me out. Yeah, you can cut me out as much as you want. I agree with
Well,
that.
in addition, I think, Mayor, they were doing some things through the AOGs to make sure that we're in compliance. As Ted said, this grant is for everyone. Larger cities have the ability, they have to comply by February of 2024. We have until December of 2024. And so the sooner, I mean, I don't know how soon they're going to start working with littler cities because they'll be focusing on the larger cities, but I think we should get something in sooner than later. So our planning commission with the time frames for the deadline that we can be in compliance without being rushed.
Yeah, just in time for them to pass a whole another slew of laws. Jody?
I spoke with RCC today, and they're going to get back with me later this week on getting ours started.
Oh, great. Wow.
So
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Okay, city council reports. Councilmember Hilliard.
So I have been working on getting the plan for potential road repairs prior to winter flying. And I should have those numbers later this week. So I'll come to you and present that when I've got what that potentially looks like financially.
Awesome, thank you.
And then do we have any update on Plow 2? It's my favorite question to ask. Jody, anything there on
Dave
Plow
Stones
2?
was gonna follow up with them yesterday.
do you want me to read exactly what they sent to me?
I don't know. Is this something that should be digging into legal or not?
We'll breaks if it starts to go that way.
Summarize it, they hooked up the diagnostic equipment, they tried to program, and couldn't get the reader to connect it. Finally, they got switches replaced and installed a new brake pressure switch. And they thought they got everything taken care of, and then a new fault code came up with a fuel level sensor.
Oh, good. It only took 6 months for us to figure that out. That's great. Perfect. Okay. Thank you. And Parks and Trails, like Janet said, we had a great event this weekend. A lot of work done, lots of great volunteers, very successful. You probably saw some of the pictures on Facebook. Now you need to go up there and look at the benches. Should be good.
Cool.
Yeah,
So, yep, that's all for me.
okay, thank you. Councilmember Kinnison?
Yeah, just 3 quick mentions. We were thinking about the hunting things that could happen in our city, and we wondered if in the city newsletter we should re-mention the fines and so on that the city have got in place if people are shooting weapons in the city. Remember, we had a big fine go in, and we put it in the newsletter at one point. We might consider that again.
I'll put that in there, Doral. I just
Okay.
wrote that down. I'll put that in there.
And you had a really good article in there once before. Might be a good reminder. Thank you. And I went down and removed the closed sign that was on the debris catch basin on Willow Reed. I'm just looking at the future and wondering if we need a better sign. I don't remember what the attorneys ever said about that when it's full of water, but just throwing that out there that that sign's gone now, and I have it if we ever need to put it back up.
Okay.
Then the third thing is I would like to suggest that the city be supportive of us putting down at the mailboxes one of these banners, and maybe even one on the fire station for recruiting members into our department. We need to grow a little bit to feel better about being able to service the community as big as it is, and as such good equipment we have. We want to make sure we have the citizen volunteers to. So, we'd like to do that if that's okay, just to see if there's any interest out there, people we don't know yet that would be interested.
I think it's a great
And
idea.
Doral, if you also get me a graphic for that, I will include that in the newsletter as well.
Oh, perfect. Okay. We have gotten a couple of new members within the last couple of months, and really encouraged with the young and healthy and vibrant youth.
Someone to carry you out.
You betcha. Yeah. And to carry me in too. So yeah, good help is new to our department. So
That's great.
okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Lunt?
Nothing more to report. That's it.
Okay.
Just really grateful to the volunteers. Some of them couldn't come on Saturday, so they actually came like a day before and dug some of the holes
Oh, that's
for us.
great.
So that was really nice.
Yeah. no, it's-
Yeah, we had visitors that got recruited, so that was really nice.
Yeah, I saw that. They're friends of the Reeds, I'm guessing. Is that?
Oh, Chris Proctor's.
Oh, that's right, Chris Brockman. Yeah, I knew it was something related to someone's
Yeah.
missionary service. Okay, great, thank you. Councilmember Malkovich?
Yeah, just another reminder, if there's anything else you would like in the newsletter, to please give it to me as soon as possible. Also, if you're going to put something on social media, or if you want me to put something on social media, let me know. When I saw that Sherry had posted that they were having, or Janet, one of the two of you, posted that you were having to clean up, I was able to move that to the top of our social media page so more people would see it. And so just let me know if you're going to do that, or if you want me to put something on the official page, I can make sure it gets to the top so more people view it. As far as emergency management goes, we had an interesting few-hour training this morning on with regards to the eclipse and some of the things that might happen, not only for those who are in the pathway of the eclipse with thousands and thousands of people coming, but also when these larger events happen, how little cities especially can be taken by surprise with this influx of people. Sometimes it's just logistics, having places to sleep or restroom facilities, etc. But also sometimes national organizations will come in with protesters, and then how do we deal with that? So that was kind of an interesting thing to be a part of this morning. The second thing is, as I talked to you, I think I mentioned this last time, on October 26th, we're having a tabletop exercise in countywide. So far from our city, myself and Deputy Dutson will be attending. Ted is going to try to come. It's a tabletop exercise with regards to hazardous waste spills. As we have more and more large equipment coming near our city, we have the an increased threat that there could be spills. And so it'll be something that will be good. It's going to be working together with all different kinds of entities from throughout the county. So I put the word out there to our fire department, our EMS, law enforcement, myself, so fire. So we should be well covered in the training for our city.
And Carrie, we have emergency management meeting in the morning again, right?
Yes,
8:30.
yes. Yes, in the morning is we have a monthly meeting for the CEMP, which is our comprehensive emergency management plan. We've been part of a grant that was given to the county to do a pilot program to help cities write their emergency plans, and we meet on Wednesday, that first or second Wednesday of the month, as a group, and we go through that plan. So yes, that is in the morning.
Great. Thanks, Gary. Councilmember Pratt?
I don't have anything.
Okay, and I also do not have anything. So, as far as possible upcoming agenda items, just for those of you who are running, Spencer and Ben and Carrie and Brian, Jody's going to be sending out some information on this, but the 24th of October is we're scheduling a Meet the Candidates night. So hopefully that is something that will give you an opportunity to showcase your talents and let the residents know.
In addition to that, I was putting that in the newsletter as well, and I asked last time for all the candidates to send me their profile that they had sent to the state with a picture, and I will put that in the newsletter as well, so our residents have time to read up, see the faces, contact information, etc. So if you have not sent that to me yet, would you please do that as possible to my personal email, not my city email.
Thank you.
And that's a city council night as well?
Yeah, it will be part of our city council
okay.
agenda,
All
I
right.
guess. That's why I brought it up now, is because of that. And then we're also having, is it Representative Burton that's coming on the 24th, Carrie, or is that Senator
Yeah.
McKell?
That's Representative Burton. He will come. We're having two different meetings scheduled. Our two representatives couldn't come the same night, so we've divided them up. Representative Jefferson Burton will come first, and I'm going to send them out a list of, potential issues that or bills that are coming up that we might want to discuss, and I'll CC you on that. And then on the following, I think it's the 11th, our first meeting in November, our only meeting in November, I should say, is when Senator McKell will come, and he will get the same information. And then we can have time one-on-one to discuss some of our concerns and some of the things we would like them to know before heading into the legislative session.
Great. Thank you. All right. Anybody else have anything that they want to include on the agenda? All right. Well, with that, we will adjourn the work session portion of our meeting, and we can reconvene at 6:50 for the city council meeting. You heard, we did spray, and I think that we need to
So
get our money
bad.
back. Right, maybe it'll diversify the genetics. All right. So we're gonna call this city council meeting to order. Councilmember Kinnison, would you kindly lead us in the pledge, or in the invocation? Will you please offer the invocation? And then, actually, Carrie, I don't know that we do the pledge remotely. I guess you could, but maybe we ought to have somebody on site do it.
That's fine.
I don't see why not. Okay, yeah, so after the prayer, if you would lead us in the pledge, that'd be great.
You'll just stand up and say, repeat with me, and then we'll all do it.
And don't
All
forget,
right.
don't forget it.
Very good.
Perfect.
Let's have a prayer. Father in heaven, we pause and thank thee for the opportunity we have to live in this city and to have our neighbors and friends and those around us that we love being near. We ask thee to bless us this evening, that we will attempt to make the best decisions possible for this city, that we will work together and find ways of using the limited resources we have to meet the needs of our community. We are grateful for those that live here and those that serve our city as in many capacities, and we ask that thou bless them and reward them for their efforts to make this a great place. We're thankful for all that we enjoy, and we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, please rise.
Okay, we're gonna have this wonderful young lady run it.
Yeah,
for
sorry,
us here.
Carrie, I thought since you were gone, we better have someone here, but we'll still do the pledge.
No problem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, done like a pro. Okay, public comment. If there's anybody here that would care to make a public comment, you see, Chris, there's an order to things. If you want to make a public comment, just say it now when you speak into the microphone. It's all impulsive, huh? Okay,
Your council material.
all right. Anybody here care to make a public comment? All right. Oh, well, Rachel's hemming and hawing. Okay.
She's flushed. She's got something to say.
All right. Anybody
Chief's
online?
Chief's
Can you
nervous,
see
so I
the
want to
advance,
hear.
Jody? Okay, well, then let's close the public comment before Rachel says something. Now, you're always welcome to speak, Rachel. All right, item 12, City Council meeting minutes, September 12th, 2023. If we can get a motion to approve those.
I motion to approve them.
Okay, Carrie, Dave beat you to it, but if you want to second it.
Sure.
So he made a motion to approve both the minutes and the August 2023 financials.
Okay, maybe his mic isn't on because I didn't hear him, but I second that motion.
Okay, so that is a motion by Councilmember Pratt and a second by Councilmember Kinnison. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
That motion carries. Item 14, Resolution 2023-32 approving August 2023 check disbursements.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2023 August check disbursements.
I'll second it.
Motion by Councilmember Hilliard and a second by Councilmember Pratt. All in favor?
Aye.
And being no opposition, that motion carries. And we do need to enter into a closed session pursuant to Utah Code 54-4204 and 54-4205. So, but we're glad for those who could attend. Being that we're entering a closed session, that will just be council. And I'm actually it will just be council and me. So thanks to everyone who did come and participate. And,
Don't we need to make that motion to, I make a motion to go into closed session.
okay, thank you. A motion to go into closed session
I'll
by
second
Councilmember
that.
Pratt, seconded by Councilmember Kinnison, Councilmember Hilliard,
Yes.
Councilmember Pratt,
Yes.
Councilmember Kinnison,
Yes.
Councilmember Malkovich,
Yes.
and Councilmember Lund.
Yep.
Okay, now we're in closed session. So all the stuff I said about thank you still stands. Okay, so we are out of closed session, and if someone will move to adjourn, we can.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, a motion by Councilmember Lund, seconded by Councilmember Kinnison. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Hey.
Thanks,
We'll see
Chris.
you